see. So, hello readers, we have the real Rahul Rai with us today. This is a very special interview because Rahul is an actor, he is an influencer, he is a multi-talented personality, and we are really excited to have him on board with us. Rahul, welcome to Bunt-Aura.
Thank you for having me. Can I intermingle Tulu, or is it mostly English readership?
No.
I want the mix one pe anna Tulu atediji and English atediji and Raddala.
Malaji. I mean, we will be very happy to have you speak.
Pura bansigate. Pura namma.
Okay. Namma janake.
Apana akle artha avate enna Tulu.
Annan. Artha aitla manage malpe. Don't worry.
Vale. Okay, good.
You speak Hindi also. I heard you speak in Hindi.
No,
once.
I don't speak Hindi. And kaltunette ante dumbu and stop mante pura Hindi. I don't know. I don't actually speak. Papa yaplavan pare, tell people you speak Hindi. Speak Hindi. I cannot lie. Enga sulavan yaravadi. Anja yan kali English la Tulu ate.
Nice. So Rahul, you were born and brought up in US, but I believe you are a very close connect with India and specifically Namma Uru.
Anand undu Papa la Mummy they were always taking us to India every year. So every December we would go. Ancha Kudlag, Bombay, Book of Bangalore. So Ancha, those three places I know quite well. Ancha namma suru Bombay opuni boka alpa unji raddadine opuni boka Kudlag opuni. Boka alpa enna mammina illa undu Kunibaila itu putaru undi. It's in the Tota. Halli.
Okay.
Ancha alpa kulira bari podiga because there's no current popundo alpa uchundu undu purundu nai purundu but it's a beautiful, it's a farmhouse, so it is very fond memories there. Bari busy alpa pura, like all the alpa kelasada kalupuni akunottige undu breakfast manpuni.
Okay.
Akunottige kelasage poerejiana matra tuyirundu akalaka unji lungi padirundu avupura anja avupura sangati vante.
Did you try wearing that lungi or
mundu? Yeah kattiyare gottunde enku
are va
very nice paadiyare gottunde masse samaya ande paadu kattiyare gottundu. And so those are like childhood memories. Book Papa na pura family ullero alpa Bangalore, mummy na family pura ullero ancha Bangalore la ponditta. So I've been to India like many times. Pura vanas enchana namma vanas Pangare dagasi a kappa cow lead that clay pot and enna dodda vantane anamane the Bangare bari kara kempu dagasi kara boka bari kara. Ancha pura namma ganji pura dente. So I'm very much in touch with my roots.
That's so nice to know. I'm seriously impressed because having lived in the US, grown up in the US, and still being so connected with your roots.
That pura papa na mummy na is their teachings and their discipline. ಅಡಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಪೇರು ಗೊತ್ತಜಿ ಎಂಕ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಿನ್ನೀರ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಒಂತೆ I know how to make a little bit Korea jadina onte ಗೊತ್ತುನು ಹೆಂಚ ಮನ್ಪೇರೆ, but I want to learn ನಮ್ಮ ಪುರ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಬಂಗುಳಿದೆಗಸಿ ದಾಲ್ ಬೊಕ್ಕ ಎಂಚಿನ ಕೆಮ್ಮುಳಿದೆಗಸಿ ಬೊಕ್ಕ ಎಂಚಿನ ಒಂದು ಹಿರಿಯಬಳ ಬದನೆದಗಸಿ ಅಂತಾರ ಮುಂಚಿಗಸಿ. bari shokunda. Ancha all those things I'd like to learn and sort of keep in touch with.
So what's your favorite dish?
Ayo, enna onji mami ulledate enna pappana side anna panjidega sid bari shokunda.
Oh.
Okay, anna edde undu fat part, right? Okay, nannonji mamina biryani undu anna bari shok. Okay, Bombay the mami ullere anna best vegetarian food. Bokena mammina adige is everything. Anna bangiri degasi anna Korea jaden bari shok. Ar Korea jaden manpunaga ar gasidalaga manpuje. Kello janakla gasidalaga manpera. That is little incorrect, I think. Edde dry uppuru. The pura neer pura cook out. You have to cook out the water. So mummy's Korea jadina undu masa ajadina arna biryani la bari shoka arna banguri de gasi bari shoka manji de gasi la man pere.
Okay.
And so I don't have one favorite dish. It all sort of goes together. Boka namma badane de gasi undu. Okay, I can go on and on. Nungel me yenna Pappana mami Pappa's aunt, so my grand aunt, our bari shogada uppad pura mandar. Uppad happala, nungilmina chutney. Uppura, I think that's like some of my favorite. Ganji dotti ke tinire bari shoga.
You could be in Bangalore right now. I can't believe it. Sitting out there in LA.
It's the best one. And poco kori rotti hai. Yeah. And mummy na kori daga buy sugar because she doesn't put tara the pear paduji, right? Ancha kali neeran. Ancha the gussi is not like thick and creamy, it's very that is like it's the best. Matre think I cannot handle all the spice. It's hard to handle some of the spice. Ancha vante kammi tinnulla namma.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate, but it's okay.
So tell me something about your family, your parents.
And Aklu, they're both from Mangalore. Papa grew up in the city. Mummy grew up in the like a farmhouse kind of a thing. And Papa was a well-known cricketer at that time. He was playing high school cricket and then college cricket. And he went to the level of I think he almost went to Ranji Trophy.
Wow.
He was a South Zone captain, and he's standing on the pitch for the coin toss, and standing opposite of him is Sunil Gavaskar.
Wow.
So they were contemporaries. Boka, there's a lot of other names that I don't. I know them as uncles. Sunil uncle, Vishi uncle. So Vishwanath is a very well-known cricketer. So that whole is it the 1980 team that won the World Cup?
82.
Or 82 with Sunil uncle captaining the team. So
no,
that whole
was
team,
Kapil Dev captaining the team.
Oh.
Sunil Gavaskar did play.
He did play.
Part of the team.
And so that whole team is quite familiar with because he played college days cricket with them.
Wow.
And he's also you may want to consider also interviewing him as well. He's got quite a very interesting story. He's a big artist. He painted he sent a oil painting. It's actually to JFK. And so that is hanging in the JFK archives. He's a big fan of JFK. But Mummy is a well-known beauty queen in Mangalore.
Really? Wow.
Ancha pappaga bari kusiyanda. I don't want to divulge too many details, you know. So that's I know namma. But yeah, so then Aupura and Akulna, you know, they met and married, and then they came to the States in I think 1973.
Okay.
And so since 1973, they've been in New York. Papa Parimala Doctor Ayar. Book yeah, and then immediately I think my sister was born, and then a few years later my brother was born, and then after a long time I was born. Jayan unte galat thoda sa galti galat whatever it is.
Healthy.
Anand Ancha. Yeah, so that's their story as much as I know it. They don't share too much. They're a little private about their, you know, their story. But I get some information in Mamina Akpuru Lera and Jayan Aklega Pura Kenwe for questions. You know, many of the questions. Yeah.
Interesting.
I have a very interesting family, I must say. Very colorful family. Lots of characters. A lot of appreciation for the arts. Both my parents have. They both respect the arts. My dad being you know, an artist, a painter, and a sportsman. He's taken those skills into medicine. Mummy is like very much into dance and all that kind of stuff. So dance and music. And so they have a big respect for the arts, and you know, one of their kids expressed some interest in it, and so they were very encouraging. So I'm very lucky in that way. They never pushed me to be anything else.
Yes. That's something. That's quite something.
Yeah.
That's what I was just coming to my next question. I mean, your father is a doctor, and you chose to go, you know, instead of following his footsteps, you chose to go into the arts, performing arts.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, some of it is, I don't know, you know, that generation is interesting. I think if you listen to their stories, there's a lot of things that maybe they wanted to do that they didn't have a chance to do because of family responsibilities. So they kind of allow, when their kids many years later express certain interests, they you know, they encourage it. So, and my parents are very forward thinking. I think especially for their generation. Because
I think it's amazing that they supported you in your.
I'm coming to learn the creative arts is not a it's not really a career choice. It's not really it's more of a lifestyle choice, and it's a tough lifestyle, but it becomes a lot easier when you have a very strong family support. So whatever I'm able to do, all the foolish things I'm able to do is because I have a lot of support from back home. Otherwise, it would not be possible. I would not have the engine of company dairya to do it myself.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Akkalna dairya battadu bokkenka manpira you know, I can do it. So.
And when you know that you have their support, I mean, that's a good place to be.
Yeah,
isn't it? When you want to follow your heart, and you know that you know, they have your back.
Buka aklegla bangaupu, you know, it's not an easy thing to encourage your kids to go down the arts. I can understand why, you know, most parents wouldn't. But you know, they're very forward-thinking and brave people. They're very, very brave. I think parents.
Nice. You are also a very talented dancer. So I mean.
And that is IT Surya IT ಶುರು ಆಯ್ನಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾನ ಉಂಡದೆ
And
ನಿಕ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬನ್ಸಂಗ ಉಂಡದೆ ಊರುಡು
and Ancha Bana, it's bunts of
ನಮ್ಮ
bunts of North America.
North America. And Ancha Yenna Papa was kind of like, I think, one of the founding members of that whole thing.
Okay.
So that whole generation is basically who started in North America because Aklusuru Battane. And so they needed some level of community and some kind of a gathering. And it only I think it started very small in the tri-state area. So like New York, New Jersey. Pura meetayani. But it got bigger and bigger and bigger. But it became this kind of national thing. Every 2 years we go to a different city and somebody hosts it. The families in that state host it. Ancha. So when I was growing, I mean, even my brother and sister, it's sort of like a rite of passage kind of a thing. It's a 3-4 day event. Book pura dance one puru joklu pura ancha. Anna mantera akka mantera book. It was my turn. Yenna yana book yenna pura dosti book and a cousins ittera ancha. Alpa suru aini in the dance experience. I was very bad, but for some reason I wanted to get better. So I would after that Bana, it was a Chicago Bana in 2003, I think 2003 or 2005. I performed with my friends and cousins, and I saw the tape and I didn't like it, and for some reason I was convinced that I could get better. And so I would come home from school every day, and I would put all of anything I could find with Hrithik Roshan. So Kauna Pyare was a big movie that I would watch over and over again. Ekpal Ka Jeena was that dance he did, very famous dance. Book I found another DVD of his best hit songs, him and Amitabh Bachchan, top 50 songs, top 50 music videos. Appaga pura DVDs ittannade. Ancha yenna school ad book yenna basement poddu DVD paaddu book kalpune yennate. Ancha book munji 2 gante uppe alpatirtade.
So largely self-taught.
Mostly self-taught, yeah. And then, I think it also helped with my self-confidence to some degree. And body the jana, actually. Body, what do they say? How do you say shy in Tulu? Body nachige. And the nachige the aane. And nonte mummy the lakand. Ancha. Pappana daire baidiji apaga. Book dance month one daire battanda. Book I was able to sort of find an outlet for a lot of energy and I had a lot of energy actually as a kid. And mummy put a classes martial arts, karate, tennis, soccer, everything. She just wanted me out of the house. So I had a tremendous amount of energy. I still do. So then I found an outlet to dance, and then I was performing nama Diwali parties, Bana Dapaga Pero. And then I sort of, people enjoyed it. But and then my mom, she put me in a dance troupe in a proper class. So I studied basically Bollywood dance, and there was one choreographer there who was very much into Bollywood. Like Bollywood dance is not just about dance; it's also about acting and storytelling and expressions. And so he was very big into that, and that is where I started learning that. So appaga onte acting the suru I opura avunittandu. But I never thought acting would be what I wanted to do. But my parents at that time, throughout high school, would encourage me to do plays.
Okay.
In the high school theater. I never did it because I was too scared. And then for some reason, I was dancing with a troupe around 2008, and one performance we had in New York City, and a director happened to be in the room, and then Namashwad Bukar Piravattadi asked me if I want to audition for this film that he's doing, and then I ended up getting it, and then that helped me sort of find a purpose, if you will. And decide and I'll pursue acting. At the age of 18, I decided. Okay, in college college study economic study I was full on into from 22 onwards. So the last 10 years I've been pursuing acting nonstop with the full support of my parents.
So that brings us to the movie that gave you your first break. Harry Tries to Marry.
When Harry Tries to Marry,
yeah. So how was that whole experience? And
it was very new. It was very I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to memorize my lines, say the lines, and I didn't understand standing on marks, camera angles, lighting, acting. I was just kind of faking it. But that's also how I fell into dance. It was just kind of you self-teach. You see what other people are doing. If you can copy that, then you kind of try that and you do that. And then, but I've always had like an instinct. And I think from my parents, I've even my dad is a very self-taught artist. And he found a teacher, but with cricket, all these things, it's kind of, you just do it. And so you do it, you learn by doing. There's no classes, there's no classes. So you just have to do it. So this kind of go-getting attitude is kind of, don't wait, just try it, just see what happens, fail, it's okay. That I somehow absorbed from them. And I was able to fake my way through it, I guess. And they wanted, thankfully, the director wanted somebody that was fresh and green and not experienced, because it made sense for the role and it made sense for the character. So it kind of worked out. And when I look back on it, I think, it's not that bad, actually. My work wasn't that bad given the circumstances. But it definitely changed my life. It gave me a sense of direction. And then I met my teacher, an acting teacher, after that, through Papa, actually. Again, Mommy, they're always intertwined in sort of my journey. So I get a little, sometimes when I talk about them, I get a little emotional, because yeah, it's a real blessing.
It is.
In a way,
Yeah. It is a blessing.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you're given certain things in life, and then you have to run with it. And Anja, I'm a very lucky guy, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, to have such supportive parents who are ready to, be with you every step of the way, you're really, very, very fortunate. And
yeah,
and the fact that you cherish that so much says a lot about you as well as a person.
Yeah, I've you know, you come to realize people, when you spend enough time in like the creative arts, you start to realize how, you know, people come from all sorts of backgrounds.
Correct.
Some of them are, I don't know what the right word is. They don't have the support. So, you know, because you have the support, you have a small advantage a little bit. It's like coming from, you know, a place of privilege in a way. When you have privilege in life, people have a tendency to run slower when they have privilege in the race of life, but they should run faster because they could potentially give back so much more, you know. And when you're given an advantage like that, you cannot waste it. So that's, you know, I've learned a lot from my parents. I'm only because of my parents, in a very literal sense and in a very metaphorical sense.
That's a very wise
And Papa, you know, Papa body undu. Actually, both my parents are very spiritually minded. Akkur body must oduer. Undu namma Vedanta, the philosophy oduer. Papa is a big follower and devotee of Swami Vivekananda.
Okay.
Sadguru Pura. Pura Sangati Pura oduer. That is also rubbed off on me a lot. And you know, it keeps you a little, you have to find ways to stay grounded at some point, because the world is, you know, it's a very noisy place. You have to somehow find a center. So all these things, there's a lot of really rich philosophy in Hinduism, and you know, finding some of that and reading some of it, and then you know, it helps a lot. Onte devana bhakti undu enku onte pappaga jaasti enku onte vattanu onte. So some of that has helped. You know, but I'm not perfect, far from it.
No one is.
No.
No one really is. We're always learning, and we're always, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's and in this profession, you learn a lot very fast, because you just, you know, you're dealing with rejection a lot. It's a very, yeah, there's so many things that are unknown, but you learn to sort of embrace all of that. I think that's kind of where I'm at now, is you're embracing the lifestyle. You have accepted the lifestyle, and you've accepted that you cannot, for some reason, you cannot stop, because you're driven by something that is not exactly rational. There is some level of delusion that you have. There's some level of dreams, or whatever you want to call it, but you're driven by this idea that you see, that you want to turn into a reality, not just for yourself, but because you want to make the people that have supported you very proud. So, you know, dinola unte ಕೆಲಸ ಉಂಟು, dinola unte enchantla ಕೆಲಸ ಉಂಟು, ಬೇಜಾರಿತ್ತನದ ಕೆಲಸ ಉಂಟು, ಖುಷಿ ಇತ್ತನದ ಕೆಲಸ ಉಂಟು, ದುಃಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕೆಲಸ ಉಂಟು. You know, discipline is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you going. I mean, if you really want to, you know, have a long stint in your career and everything, I think that discipline needs to be there in everything that you do. Focus.
Those are the words of my house growing up for all of us, is discipline and humility. And so those two things are not foreign concepts to us, any of me and my siblings. And I realized what an advantage that is after you you know, go into a field that's very difficult, and you see other people dealing with things and not understanding discipline, and not understanding humility, and not understanding that you are fully responsible for your life. That level of accountability, and learning that from a very early age, it becomes a competitive edge. You know? So lucky again. I'm just a lucky guy, basically, when it comes down to it.
So growing up, how was it? I mean, how was it when you were growing up? Your parents were probably the first, one of the earliest bunts to come into the US, and how different manage maltontar illade betene culture, pidai betene culture.
And that is a good question. It was not as difficult as it in retrospect. It was very natural. Illa bannaga nama tulutu paatharni nama mammina vanastinpani nama, not pasta, not lasagna, not this bangri degasi nuppu boka kojap boka dadana lattane ajana lattane uppu kari bang badane edo uppu yenchina dadan anchane Friday bannaga nama pidai upani restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Thai restaurant, bokate. And then if I'm at a friend's house, then I can have their food. If I'm at school, I have the school food. I speak English there. So it was very, I didn't question it. There was no reason to. It was very natural to me. I'm also the last. I had. There's a big age difference between me and my siblings. That they were also doing the same thing. Beef illad. You can do what you want. So that's how we grew up, and that was according to Papa's sort of his
rules of the house.
The rules of the house. And so we didn't really question. Now when I've gotten older, now you start to sort of think for yourself a little bit. You start to experience the world a little bit. And so some things you question, some things you maybe let go of, some things you hold on to, and some things maybe slight disagreements about. But there's always there's always coming back home is coming back home. So Kelasangati changes, Kelasangati does not change. And illa uppanaga vanasat boke and mammin have panpuni undu atil manpere atho clean manpere. That is certain things certain patterns you fall back into, certain patterns you break.
So even if you've been away, when you come back, it's again back to what you.
Anand undu light bulb change manpu undu pura change mantu undu en iPhone yencha manpuni undu pura au pura set manpuru.
Appaga Rahul Rai, the actor, doesn't matter.
Anand no, it now it's the handyman, and that's natural. And I think my parents they've also come to understand akalna joklu America to puttidini adu anta akalna kelav sangati it will not work.
Correct.
Madmeda vishesha upura will not it may not happen the way they want it. So there's also a growth and introspection on their part. Akal panpu erundu madmeyayare pantadagal nottige madmeyayare, but they have to say that because they're attached to their culture.
Yes.
And then it's where it's the context of the world that they grew up in. It's what they understand. It's what they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. We have to you have to respect each other's differences of opinions. The world is a very different place now. Bunt-Aura, they don't even want to get married to Bunts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And this.
that is the culture of the world. The world is opening up. Alpa and Kudla Ponaga Alpa Enchana highway undu Alpa ite. Lanes undu. Everything is intermingling.
Yes.
Kala Sangati will change, Kala Sangati will not. But it's the principles. There are certain principles that I don't think that I think will stand the test of time. Things like discipline, humility, being in touch with your roots, to have respect for it, to have respect for your parents, to hopefully bring some level of integrity to your family and that kind of stuff. Working hard. Mummy and Papa's generation, they understood hard work.
Yes.
They understood hard work. I mean, you just get on with it.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's not that people don't work hard, but it's a little different. That level of discipline and that level of because they didn't have anybody, so you have to,
They had to look out for themselves all the time.
So they had to go fight.
Yes.
That is still there, actually. You still have to fight. You have to fight for everything you want. There is no, you're just going to be given. Those things are still very relevant. The Vishesha is different. Some of those things are not. Even college, even buying out, some of these things are very different now. There's a lot of different ways to make money. There's a lot of different ways to make a living. There's a lot of different ways to live a life.
Yes.
Not everybody, it's okay to be not married. It's okay to be married and not have kids. So, in some ways, it must be a culture shock for them. But the world is always moving forward, and so every generation has to deal with some kind of reconciliation with the past. A very difficult thing to do, but that is the responsibility. They had to, they probably had their own version of what I have with them, with their parents.
Yes.
So every subsequent generation has to find a way to take what is useful from the past, add what is useful of the present, and then mix in something that is unique about their own perspectives, because they're self-thinking human beings. Ancha, it's not always easy to communicate certain ideas, but that's how relationships are. Long-term relationships are. You'll feel all incredible love, incredible resentment and all this, but one thing you're not indifferent about these people. That's how you're in maybe a healthy long-term relationship with your parents or your partner or this and that. But it's okay.
So how much do you identify as a Bunt? I mean,
actually,
obviously you are very, you're very, very connected with your roots.
And I thought about this actually a lot, because in our line of work, there is this, at least in Hollywood, we talk about representation. And we want more representation in Hollywood, and we want, Indians want more Indian representation, and other groups want themselves represented. And I've always thought about being asked this question about identifying myself. And for me, I identify not just like being an Indian is too general. I am a Bunt, right? And so that is how I can identify myself when it comes to my Indianness. I am a Bunt when it comes to being an Indian, if that makes sense. Okay. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಪುನಿ ಒಂದು ಭಾಷೆ ಗೊತ್ತುಂಡು. I can communicate with my aunts and uncles.
Yes.
That's where that's what it is. So, but I'm also American. I am also born here. So I don't have like I'm not confused. I just, but that's probably because I'm not obsessed with, I'm not overly attached to anything that I am, if that makes sense. I am not so proud to be Bunt that I have to tell everybody about being Bunt, and then I have to force them to think that Bunts are the best types of Indians and the best types of people, and we have the best types of food. I am not hell-bent like that. And I am not that, I'm not so, I guess, proud to be American that I have to convince everybody America is the best. India should, you gotta do this, you gotta get the this and that, and like in America should. No, it doesn't matter to me. What I understand is that me being Bunt and loving the food and speaking the language and understanding the sense of humor, it can become a very unique lens, a unique skill set through which I can storytell to the people that I cater to. They don't need to know what I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If they want to ask, do something like this, okay, I'll say I can hang. If I need to do something in English, I can hang. I just need to be able, I am obsessed with being an actor. I am obsessed about that. I don't care if, I'm not obsessed about being a South Asian actor, Indian actor, Bunt actor, male actor. I want to be a great actor.
Just actor first.
I want to be with the best of the best. I want to play with the best of the best. So, my culture is something that I take pride in, but I'm not obsessed about sharing. It's mine. I know. I know, right? We all know. But I'm not obsessed about, I'm not obsessed about it. I'm obsessed about being able to weave in and out from stories that you don't expect me to be in, but I can make you believe that I belong there. And then you think, oh, he's Indian. Is he Indian? I don't know. Oh, he's Bunt. Oh, wow, I didn't know. That's how I think. I think more in that way. So I think that is also an advantage. I think my culture is not the only source for material for my storytelling.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, if I've seen your videos, and it's not so generally. I mean, there's this stereotypical Indian in America videos that come in, but you.
Yeah,
I guess, is that a deliberate thing that you want to veer away from?
I think
stereotypical content.
Once I decided to be an actor, and this is like my own sort of thinking, I didn't want to be seen as an Indian actor. I didn't want to be seen as all these things. I just want to be seen as an actor. But it's a hard thing to say that without sounding maybe disrespectful to where I sort of come from and culturally. So it's a nuanced conversation to have, but all in all, I don't want my work to I don't want my work to only represent in a way that which
your Indian roots.
Yeah, but not in a disrespectful way. It's because I want to be able to play in the broadest sort of sandbox that I can.
Yes.
Every label I put on myself, I'm actually making
narrowing
the
it all
smaller.
down. Yeah. I
should be able to do it all. I believe in like being well-rounded. That's if I ever went into athletics, I would be obsessed with being a well-rounded athlete. Like I played tennis. So if you watch tennis now, you cannot afford to be a big server. You cannot just be you cannot just have a forehand and a serve. You cannot just have a net game. You have to do all of it. You have to play every shot in the game. Same thing with cricket, probably. You have to be able to play offside, left side, this side, this side. You got to bowl, you got to this, you got to this. That is how it is becoming. That is how athletes are becoming. That is how entertainment is becoming. You cannot just be a movie actor now. You have to get on social media. How can you do TV? I mean, here, TV is where all the great work. You have to be able to go in and out and be able to see where what else you can do.
Correct.
And I think that is something I've always been obsessed with. And so for me, I am Indian, yes, but I don't want my work to only represent that, because I can hang with other actors that are non-Indian, and I can tell stories that are I can tell human stories that you can resonate with, being an Indian or being a woman or being in this or being in that. It doesn't matter. That is what I am obsessed with. And that is, on social media, at least I have some level of creative control, because I'm not waiting for somebody to hire me and tell me what to say and do. So in a way, I've consciously and subconsciously made an effort not to rely too heavily. Also, I don't, the accent to me is not funny in and of itself. It is the mannerisms and the behavior that go with it. And very few people can execute that. And that is, when people can do that, and showcase it, then it's very funny. To me, I cannot do that just yet. I'm not interested in that. There's sometimes I talk about, my upbringing, being an Indian and being this and that. But I don't rely on it as the only source of storytelling, because I don't think it's that interesting. It will run out eventually. Only so many stories you can tell using that theme. So it as a story, you're only as good as your ability to kill your darlings. It's the same thing in the tech world. You have to innovate. You cannot stand still.
Yeah.
So that's why, I make a conscious effort to be able to do other things. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for where I come from, of course.
So do you watch Indian movies? Hindi films, Bollywood?
I don't watch a lot of stuff, actually, in general. It's only very few things, even in terms of Hollywood. Which is a weird thing to say, being an actor, but it actually, to me, it makes a lot of sense. It's also how people think, I'm I'm kind of soft-spoken when they meet me in person, and shy and introverted, and I tell them I'm an actor, and they're like, well, it doesn't make any sense, but it does. Because you have to be able to observe, you have to be able to absorb. But I don't watch as much. Movies Papa only banted in
Kantara chustara? Kantara was a sleeper hit of last.
And so small things like that I may watch, but I don't consume a lot of content in general anyways. I'm too busy making it and figuring it out and coming up with things.
Yeah, I mean, you have a huge following on Insta and TikTok, and your couple videos are very popular undu dance videos and so I inspiration in chabatti now. But I heard somebody say that they could manage, the whole lockdown. Your videos help them keep sane. And
it helped keep me sane also. I think that came from the towel on the head came from a lip sync I was doing for the Kardashians. Kardashians got the name. Okay. Lip sync and I thought it'd be funny if I had a towel on my head and they were at the spa and talking. That is how that got started. Book had morphed into a desire to sort of start using my own voice instead of just lip syncing, because I could see that was where the other creators that I admire were going, and again it goes back to wanting to challenge myself or innovate and figure out a new way of doing the same thing. And then I started using my own voice and using that character, and then people resonated with it for some reason, and maybe they saw some of themselves in it, and so they enjoyed watching it. They found it humorous. So then from there I just continued doing it because it worked, and then it's evolved into this other thing, this other identity that people resonate with. But it's all kind of just trying things and making mistakes and just idiepla manga tutare ide allide awe yan yanna kelasa yan manga dalaga anponi ate
Iji matra bari ಒಂದು ಮಂಗೆ ಮಸ್ತ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲಾತಂಗ ಅವು ಕೆಲಸ
ಮಾತ್ರ ಯಾನ್ ಮಂಗದಲಾಗ ಅನ್ಪುಣ ಯಾನ್ ಇಂಕ ಒಂತೆ ಕಾಸು ತಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡದೆ ಅಂಚ ಅವೆ ಎನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಐತೆ ಯಾನ್ ಮಂಗದಲಾಗ ಅನ್ಪುಣ ಅಂತ ಹಾತಿ ಎನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಐತೆ
but ಅವು but ಕೆಲವು ಮಾತ they are very typically into traits suppondo ಅವು ಮಾತ I mean are you a very keen observer of people?
Yeah, I think that's where that comes from. So one advantage of sort of being a little, I guess, introverted or a little shy is you start to observe the room a little bit, and you can observe behavior and you catch behavior. And even when I was growing up, I would actually do a lot of impressions of people in my family. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರೈವರ್ ಇತ್ತೆ ನಾರಾಯಣನನ್ನ ಆರ್ನವಂತೆ ಮಂತನೈತೆ ಪಪ್ಪ ಎನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಅಂಕಲ್ ಇತ್ತೇರು ಆರಂತೆ ಅನ್ನ ಎಂಚನ ಪುಡಿದ ವೈಪುನಿ ಸ್ನಫ್ ಅಂದ್ ಅಂಚಪುರ I was observing things and then trying to recreate it, and then now I'm maybe a little more conscious of it, and then conscious of my own behavior, of how I sort of observing myself while I'm out in the world, and then now I have an outlet to put all that in. And mummy la papa onte pori apuno in front of me because they think they might do something and I'm going to use it
and you're going to use it
ancha onte careful irutte. And but it's it definitely comes from that.
How happened panda enna papa, he was a poet, and he used to write a lot of poems, and avu mata hasya kavi sammelana nodu kelav sarti anna poem adare mol pandolu, and he would say, and my mother would be like, I'm not like that.
And inspiration is everywhere.
ಈ ರಂಚ ಪಂಡದ ಬಕ ಮಾತೆಲ್ಲ ಏನನ್ ಒಂದಿ ನಮೂನೆ ಪಂಡ
and avanu careful uppudu. As a creator, you have to be a little careful what you put out and what you don't. And but it's there's a lot of funny things. ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಂಟದ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಾರಿ ತಮಸೊಂದು some of our behavior, mannerism, and so there's a lot of material.
So who is your idol? I mean, who is this one person you idolize?
I'm sure maybe my parents, I think, first and foremost. And then there's people that are in athletics and acting, akrapura, anybody that is extremely disciplined, anybody that is humble enough, and athletes have to be very humble and disciplined because their shelf life is very short, and even entrepreneurs, innovators like that. But I think it all stems from first and foremost is always going to be my parents. Aku lundu odu era te amcha banpan. But acting. Atta nija alla akla rada jana. Yeah.
Baka, so Rahul Rai, the actor, dancer, influencer, what is that one advice that you would want to give Gen Zers? Itta the generation that who are hooked onto social media and who are
Yeah.
life, and I'm sure Nikalna life itta the itinat exposure.
And yeah. Like they have the phone in the hand and they're exposed to the world at all times.
Their life is on that phone. What is the one advice that you would like to give?
What I would say is the skill really to have is not to get information, because information is always readily available, but it is to be able to sift through information and to find things that are useful, to find hopefully things that are truthful, and to develop the skills to do that. And some of that is going to take a learning by doing attitude and trying things, putting them out in the world, and then you fail. And then you realize, oh, that thing that I saw on YouTube probably was not legitimate. And the source that I got it from is probably not legitimate. But the internet can be your best friend, and it can also be your worst enemy, because whatever you search comes back to you in droves. But it's an incredible tool for self-education. And I don't know how it is in India, but at least Mulpa, the cost of education is going up. And the value of education is staying the same, which basically means the value of education is going down. But the pressure is still going to be there from the parents to go and get a college degree.
Correct.
But your success in the world is not going to be driven by your degrees. It's going to be driven by your ability to teach yourself things. And that is why the internet is your greatest ally in that, because the cost of it is $0.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the things that my parents didn't teach me because they didn't know, or couldn't teach me because they didn't know, I can learn on my own at a fraction of the cost that they put me in for college. So on a practical level, and for the parents, it's also a challenge, because you have to allow your kids to use this tech, but you cannot have them. This is why it's so important that you don't just be a parent because that's what you're supposed to do, but you're doing it because you are willing to take the chance to bring another human being into the world. You have a responsibility, at least in the beginning, to make sure that human being does not tie their self-worth to what they consume on the phone, but they tie their self-worth to what you are able to communicate to them when the phones are down within the walls of your house. And that is something that my parents did very well. So that way, when I do get the tech, now of course I didn't grow up with it, but when I do get it, I get disturbed. Yes, there's some level of anxiety that comes, nerves, this and that, but I have a center. I have a foundation, because my parents helped lay that out. And so parents now must become better at laying the foundation, because your kids are going to come out of the womb with the phone in the hand. It's harder to be a parent, I would imagine. But that means you as a future parent must make a conscious decision of why you're becoming a parent. You must know the stakes of what you're about to embark on. That is also another skill. If you can truly understand what this endeavor that you're about to start, you want to become an actor, you want to become an engineer, you want to become a doctor, do you have a real good understanding of what this life is going to be now? Because you're going to get rocked. You're going to get hit. You're going to be challenged. You are not exempt. You are not special and so unique that you are exempt from getting gut punched by life. It will put you on your knees. It will put you on your back. So to be able to get through that, is very, very important. And that's where having some form of support system and a community and people that you can trust and rely on, and hopefully you do have parents that are supportive in that way and can pick you up. If not, you must find other people. As connected as you are to the world, you must still find a group of people that you can actually very much rely on. And that doesn't always equate to followers and
True.
people who comment. They may not really, they may not be able to pick you up because you don't have any real relationship with them other than what's on that phone. You must still have real relationships with real human beings that you interact with. And so the skill set for being human and being alive in this new tech filled world, that those foundational skills from previous generations become more important. And again, so it's about taking from the past. You cannot ignore the past. It's history. There are certain parts of history you must remember. There are certain parts of history that are still relevant today. So, yeah. That's my philosophy.
Those are, that's great advice.
A lot.
And it's great advice coming from someone who pretty much, rules the Instagram with his videos.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all, you start to learn how there is no guarantee to stay relevant. There is no guarantee to, any of it. You must continue to make it happen. There is no, there's no salary for me. I must keep on creating. I must keep on doing it. I must keep on making it happen because I can be very easily forgotten. I'm not that important. So it's like, it's a good thing to keep reminding myself of.
So, that brings us to the end of this interview, but what I'm really taking away from this is the fact that, Rahul, you are so rooted in our culture and you carry it in your heart, and the humility that you present, is something that I'm very, very impressed with.
Thanks. Natak bare edde one pe apanda.
Anand.
Natak edde unda enna.
Anand. He's acting like Malpar.
No, thanks. I had a nice time. This is very nice. Thank you. I'm glad I could speak in Tulu and in English at the same time.
Yeah.
Very done. And the panle pun barpunu and pura share man pen.
Yes.
You can be in email.
We will be due to. I think we'll be due in August to release the next issue. And I'll mail the link and everything.
No worries, no problem. You can share one.
Okay, readers Tulud Dala, just to say a few words.
Ande sama kelas one play, sama tinle, Tuludu paterle, illad, exercise one play, parle vante, jiple, rest one play, bukka sama kelas one play. Okay, enjoy one play.
Nice.
And thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sagar, you want to say anything? He's been quietly listening.
Yeah, I've been listening. Rahul, you have been a very big inspiration to a lot of us. Like, I'll just give you a brief about what we do as Bunt-Aura Mumbai Youth Wing. So we are an auxiliary part of the community. So all the youths of Mumbai are under the youth wing. So we organize a lot of. So in the lockdown, we had done a COVID war room.
Okay.
So this was the first time we were able to do a lot of get medicines because there was a lot of shortage of medicines in Mumbai.
And
So so all the remdesivir. So we do a lot of social activities, and we also organize a personality contest known as Mr. and Miss Bunt, which is now 25 years old.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so now I've been a part of the youth wing from 2008. This is my last year. So yeah, I'll be like getting done.
Yeah.
So
congratulations.
Thanks a lot. And we all are, I'll just come. Yeah, hi. I'm really sorry. I've been not able to figure out how to open this.
Oh, Malaji.
Yeah. So it was a privilege listening to you. I'm very excited once the thing comes out. Akka launches it in August, the 3rd edition. We all will be very much excited. Like now, I have to be tight-lipped about this whole episode till August. ಒಂದ್ ನನ್ನ ಕಾಪರುಂಡು ನನ್ನ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಬೇತ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂತ್ ಬೊಕ್ಕ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ತೋರ್ಸ್ಬಾರೆ
one thing only uncle one will be hugging the secret clothes and
okay, thank you Akka for making me a part of it. Like videos the eppala telpundu poi ane na wife gite eppala al kadabudundu poli videos eppala vidapnaka.
Thanks.
You're an inspiration, Rahul. You're an inspiration, sir.
Thank you.
And Rahul, I love eat the show Tulu Paterni and actually and got it. Jan one video Tulu to Paterna. Matra eat like it Tulu Pater and under Jetich.
And try one play. Thanks.
Try one. It's not trying. You are actually quite fluent.
Thank you.
Bari
and
kushi
pappada panpe, mammilla pappada panpe apunda.
And then bari kushi ande patirthu. And credit goes to your parents also. I mean, eat like it eat encourage malpunu, eat like it malle malpuna, eat enkala basa kalpadina. It's something to be really.
They're a very good example for parenting.
Yeah.
Anja, Abhara, thanks. I had a very nice time. Anja, email one play undu pura.
Yeah, we also had a lovely time talking to you. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Tikuga. Bye.
Bye. You have a good day. Bye. And a great weekend.
Jippile Nicola.
Inko Jeppa.
Jippile. See you.